We're going to be talking about some Lions news here. We're going to get into Isaiah Buggs being cut. We're going to talk about that, Minnesota Vikings and Lions, and should the Lions rest the starters for the game on Sunday. We are 750 away from 10,000. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so we can get to that mark with more subscribers. Pushes the content out there. It's the way that YouTube works. Thank you for that. So let's go and get into Isaiah Buggs being cut. He was cut yesterday. It actually happened while we were live, shockingly. Why was Isaiah Buggs cut? I don't think it was for the fact of making room for other players coming back from injury. You easily could get other players to be cut, right? You could cut Levi Uzrike, Will Harris. You can cut Stephen Gilmore, someone that has not been used. I think the reason for the cut has been something that we've been kind of hearing for rumors all year long is, there's issues with him and Eric Glenn, maybe the coaching staff. I mean, he literally didn't play the first, I think it was the first couple weeks of the regular season due to, I don't know if it was lack of effort or differences, but it was not injury related. It was more problems related regarding him and the coaching staff. And so I think it came to a head at some point. What do I think about Isaiah? I like Isaiah Buggs. I thought he's a good contributor as a player who comes in on said specific downs. He's not like world beater at defensive tackle. He's not Alim McNeill, someone that's gonna be out there every single time. But he was a good change of pace player to come in here. I thought he did an admirable job every time he was on the field. I feel like the defensive line played better. That they did. So with him not being on the team anymore, can Alu can Alim McNeill should be back. We know what he can do. He's good. Can everybody else be able to do what Buggs did? Is it going to make a big difference? Is the defensive line going to regress? Is it going to play better? We'll find out really on Sunday because it's hard to tell. When you're watching the game, at least for me, it always felt like Isaiah Buggs when he's on the field that the defensive line did better. Maybe it was due to said downs or certain packages or how they used it, but we'll find out here shortly if the defensive line, at least for pass rush, regresses. It was never regressing anyways for stopping the run. Stop the run's been great all year long, whether he's in or not. I don't think that'll be affected, but will getting to the quarterback be affected? We'll find out. But I wish Isaiah Buggs the absolute best. I liked him on this team. I thought he was a good rotational player. I liked it. So he's no longer going to be here. And he did the adios on Twitter, so he won't be coming back. He'll go to another team for sure, and help them out. So wish him nothing but the best right there. Before we get into the Minnesota Vikings and Lions game, let's go ahead and talk about should the Lions rest their starters. They're not going to rest their starters initially. It just, to me, it depends how the game plays out. This one, I think this is more feel of the game. If the Lions are dominating the game and they're up a significant amount in the third quarter, I think they should rest their starters at that point. Don't play around. If like the backups can handle it, Lions can still win the game. You're up, 21 or something like that. In games past this year, they'd keep playing. I don't think they should keep playing if that's the case. If the injury bug hits in the beginning of the game and we're starting to see players get injured, I think you should go ahead and rest some starters. I think that'd be important. I know C.J. Gardner-Johnson wants to get his feet wet, and I think that's a good idea to get him out there, get his feet wet, see what the formations can be done with Iffy. This is a good game to kind of experiment how you're going to do the secondary with C.J. Gardner-Johnson returning. If Ifutuma Fun will be on the field, we want them on the field at the same time. Maybe they can do a little bit of experiment here, see how they can make this thing work. That's a good idea. if if the Lions have an opportunity to rest an Aiden Hutchinson instead of doing 95% of defensive plays, reduce it to 50, something like that. That's another good idea. Give these guys a little bit of rest for the playoffs, not all the way resting, but some rest. Understand that, but this is a good opportunity to reduce the snaps a little bit and give somebody else an opportunity to make a play. I think that's a good idea as well. If the game is really close throughout there and there's no injuries, no nothing, just keep playing for sure. I mean, that's obvious. Just want to be careful in this game. Just want to be careful. Just like what happened with the Miami Dolphins last week. They lose their best pass rusher basically in meaningless down. The game was over. They're already losing by 30 points. I think there's like 6 minutes left in the game. And they lose their best pass rusher for the year at the Achilles tear. They're losing by like 30 some points. What is the point in keeping your players in the field when that happens? That's the way I'd see it here, but the opposite. The Lions are up. Don't take chances. Just don't do it. There's no reason for it. Win the game. Go ahead and get ready for the postseason. Ready for the playoff run. Whether you're facing the Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Green Bay Packers, or somebody else, get ready for it. Let's get in this Lions game here. Lions and Vikings. We already talked about this, the starters, non-starters, so we're not going to worry about that portion here. Generally speaking, I like to do a lot of stats. And look, we can go over the stats for sure because I got it up here. To me, this is not going to be a stats game. This is going to be a game, in my opinion, kind of predicated off emotion. And, you can look at the Vikings offense, defense. Their defense has been playing bad the last month. I think they're going to continue to play bad. I think it's a mixture of players kind of giving up and the scheme has been figured out. I said a couple weeks ago when we were about to play the Vikings, I looked over it and I said there's a reason why teams generally don't blitz 60% of the time because it does get figured out. You do quick passes and screens and then run the football, and that negates it. They were getting shredded versus the Green Bay Packers. That defense, it's regressed quite a bit. I think it's a mixture of scheme, players giving up, and then players just not being good. They don't have the best players defensively in the world. That's why when the Vikings, the first 3/4 of the season, you're like, dang man, Brian Flores done a phenomenal job with that defense because there's not a lot of good players on there. You have Danielle Hunter, yeah, DJ Wanham, okay, and then it just kind of falls off from there. So I think the Lions offense will be able to get theirs for sure. I think they'll get definitely above 30 points in this game. I wouldn't have shocked if they dropped a 40 burger in this game. It would not shock me at all. Their offense is, besides the quarterback position, they got a good offense, and we all know this. Addison, Jefferson, Brandon Powell's been doing good for them. They lost TJ Hockenson, and that was significant punch to their offense. And it hurt them last week. You can see it. They didn't have that check down option for whoever was quarterbacking. They had Jaron Hall as well as Nick Mullins in that game. And it affected them. I think Nick Mullins is going to be starting in this game. He's going to pass. They're going to pass, but as you know, this dude throws a lot of interceptions. We got 4 on him from last time we played. I think he's got 7 in the last 3 games. I think that's pretty ridiculous. That's a horrible amount of interceptions. But they don't have a backup option. Jaron Hall looked like a disaster. Dobbs is a mobile quarterback, but he can't pass. I was shocked he was inactive for the first time the Lions played them because he can come in on set downs. They didn't do that. Their turnover differential right now is -10. That's 29th in the NFL. They're terrible turnovers. Their offense is not good rushing the football, 27th in the NFL. They're just I think this is gonna be an easy game for the Lions, and I think they packed it in for the Vikings, and it's at home, and the Lions are pissed after losing to the Dallas Cowboys the way that it occurred. It's gonna be an emotional game. The Lions get 12 wins, and we'll see where the cookie crumbles from that point. Because look, if Dallas loses and Philly loses and Lions win, Lions get the number 2 seed. I know it sounds crazy, but it can happen. Philly is on an extreme downward spiral. They lost 4 out of 5 games, and they just lost to the Arizona Cardinals. And then they got to travel to the Giants, and the Giants they almost beat them the last time they played them. That was 2 weeks ago. So they could lose that game. And the Dallas Cowboys is traveling to the Washington Commanders. They're terrible on the road. They're three. Is it? They're 3 wins on the road this year. That is bad. That is bad. So they could lose that game. The Lions could obviously win. The Lions gonna be favored in this game. Last time check was favored by 5.5. I wouldn't be shocked if it moved up to 6 before the game. It's a mismatch with emotion. That's where it's the mismatch there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on all these subjects here in Isaiah Bugs, resting the starters, Lions and Vikings. Where you guys head at there? Maybe completely different. You completely disagree with me. Put it in the comment section your thoughts. That's what we want to do, right? It's conversation. I like everybody kind of chiming in and giving me their thoughts, what the state of the fan base is thinking. With that said, folks, adios.